Hey guys, it's Will. It's Hong Kong Cinema Appreciation Society. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Thank you if you feel like subscribing. That'd be awesome. Thank you so much. That'd be a huge help. What are we here to talk about today? This is actually kind of a impromptu, spontaneous video. It's the best way to put it. I was looking at my Blu-rays this morning, and I was just kind of marveling at Kung Fu Bob's artwork. And I was like, I should make a video about my 5 favorite Kung Fu Bob covers for 88 films, because that would be really fun, because I love talking about those covers. I love talking about those films. The Kung Fu Bob artwork is just amazing. Fuck it, let's do it. So I pulled them off the shelf just now, and I'm gonna make the video. So it's a top 5. It's my top 5 Kung Fu Bob cover art for 88 films releases. So let's just get going and let's plow our way through this. What do we have first? The Protector. So I really like this movie. That's the first thing I'm going to say. A lot of people do not like this movie because it is extremely atypical of Jackie Chan. It does not play to his strengths. It's like this weird, tough guy, grindhousey, violent American movie. But I like it because it's so weird. And Danny Aiello is just like this beast in it. And like, I just really like this movie. Now, the other thing you should know about this movie is all of the artwork for this movie, going back to the 80s, is amazing and insane. And Kung Fu Bob adds his own take to that amazing insanity. And there are a couple things I really like about this artwork. One is the insane pitch of it. It's just like, machine gun, firing a pistol, kicking with a chainsaw, or yeah, a rotary saw, while kicking, while flames, ah! It's just like it captures like the almost cocaine-crazed insanity of this movie, right? Well, also, I really like this segmented thing of these triangles, right? Where you have like, this is the New York City thing, and then you have Jackie and Danny Aiello doing their, comp thing here, and you've got this kind of triangle here with like the final, big fight there. And I think I like the structure of this a lot. It's really cool. And it's a strange kind of atypical structure that I really like, where it kind of zigzags instead of being like a typical like pyramid or like one thing just in the center, kind of composition. I think the lines of it are really interesting, and I like the kind of the scenes that he pulled from the film. And I think that the difficulty of creating artwork for these releases, I think, is really underappreciated. Because what do you have to do? You have to please the fans. You have to create an interesting and original piece of work. You have to create something that is about the content of the film, but also captures the spirit of the film and what the film is really about. So it's about theme, it's about action, it's about fans, it's about an interesting work in and of itself. There's a lot going on, and I think this ticks all those boxes, and I really love that artwork. So that's The Protector. That's number 5. And number 4 on my list of Kung Fu Bob's greatest, whatever you want to call this list, 88 films covers, Dragons Forever. So when I originally started pulling things off the shelf, I was like, well, that one is obviously number 1. And then I started ordering them, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Now, obviously, I'm not disparaging this. It is in my top 5. I do think it's incredible. And I mean, you've got this V here, again, with the triangles, right? This is like a perfect little triangle here. But then you also have this kind of pyramid thing of the 3 brothers, 3 dragons, whatever you kind of call them, Jackie, Sammo, and Yuen Biao, and then Yuen Wah up above them, doing his amazing villain thing, right? So it's like a pyramid triangle thing here, but then a pyramid triangle thing coming down this way too. And that composition is really cool to me. But just like the representation of all the actors in the film here and the poses that they're striking, and just like the villainy of the cigar smoking. And this is the perfect representation of this film, because there's silliness to it, there's menace to it, it's about action, it's about character, and it's really about these 3, and there they are. But we can't forget Yuen Wah and all these other great people who are in this film. And this one I did, and I joked with Bob about this, because he was like, oh no, that's heresy, I can't believe you reversed the cover. I really like this one too, and I think it's super cool to have both of these here, that you can pull out the original Hong Kong poster, but then have Kung Fu Bob's artwork as well. So that's this was re-released as a steel book by 88 Films with a different artist did the cover art for that. I don't have that released. That just came out pretty recently. So that's number 4, Dragons Forever. Number 3 on my list of Kung Fu Bob's top 5 pieces of art for 88 Films Blu-ray releases, The Master, I had to do it to you. I had to do it to you. I love this movie. I love this release, and I love this artwork. I love the iterations of Jet Li doing his badass poses here. I love the mullet that takes no prisoners. This is the Joe Ferrello of mullets. Hell yeah. You got Yumwa over here, and you got the, you know, the group of tough bad guys, and like this, just like the graffiti, the switchblade, the leather, the leather jacketed arm with the motorcycle glove on it. Like, it's so, this cover, I think, maybe more than any of the other ones, so perfectly captures the mood and the spirit, not only of this film, but the films of this nature that were coming out in that era. It's just like, it's so good. Something else I also love about this artwork is that, if I'm not mistaken, he graffitied the names of various people into, yeah, see, like, you can see Arna for Arna Venema is here, and then Big Mike from Mike Leader, and I think there are some other names like graffitied in here as well. Oh, it says King Boxer on the wall. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff like in the graffiti if you look in the background there. So it's almost like these little Easter eggs. And this one I did not reverse because I love this so much. So, and if you watch this channel, you know when I gave this like a really glowing review. I loved watching this movie. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the movie, if you didn't see my review of it, if you're thinking about picking this up, I would say 100% go and buy it right now. But be forewarned, this is very much like a late 80s, early 90s, kind of low-budget, grindhousey action, like action movie, basically action martial arts movie. It's like very much of a type. And if you don't like those types of films, you probably won't dig this movie. But if you like those types of movies, or if you like Jet Li, if you like Jerry Trimble, if you like fighting and stuff like that, like it's just such, I love this movie. I could talk all day about it. And this actually also features Kung Fu Bob's first ever audio commentary, which is really, really good and really worth checking out. So that's number 3 on my list of Kung Fu Bob's top covers for 88 films, Blu-ray releases. What do we have at number 2? Ooh, Dragon Lord! So, and this is not my favorite Jackie Chan movie. I might not even put this in my favorite 10 Jackie Chan movies. I know that's heresy for a lot of people. I know that this is like an absolute all-time classic for so many people. And I don't dislike this movie in any way. But this artwork, ooh, mama! It's so clean. Like, it's so clean, it hurts to look at. Like, just the white and the lines and the line and the lines. It's just so clean, it hurts. If you don't know, my undergraduate degree is in art history. I studied art history and Japanese. So my degree is kind of in like Japanese art and literature and history and stuff like that. But I took a butt ton of art history classes. And so lines, I just love looking at the lines and artwork and what people are doing and what the composition is and why it is that way. And like, again, triangle, 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 there's so many triangles in here. And if you know that Kurosawa is actually really famous for, among Kurosawa scholars and aficionados and stuff, for triangular compositions. He goes crazy with that. Like in Rashomon, you know, it's about the 3 characters and their 3 perceptions, and which is a triangle because there's 3 of them, right? And you know, if you study screenwriting, like in certain schools of screenwriting, there's a huge emphasis placed on character triangles, like relationships where, you know, you have people locked together in this triangle because of their relationships with one another. And so there's a lot of triangular stuff going on in film studies and film scholarship and in filmmaking. And so, you know, Kurosawa, big into triangles and triangular compositions and stuff like that. And I see a lot of triangles when I look at it. And I don't know if Kung Fu Bob is doing that on purpose or if it's just something that I'm seeing because I see it when I look at it. But I love this artwork. And it's just so, like, you know, with you have the gray here, the black, the gray, the brown, the white. It's just like everything is so perfectly delineated in the lines and the cleanness of it's just so clean it hurts to look at. I could look at this cover all day. The expression on Jackie's face, the pose, the bad guy, and the fact that you have like the bad guy looms over the whole thing, right? Like this ominous presence, like this being that's larger than life. And here you have like the more human, relatable characters and stuff like that. Like everything about this to me captures the spirit of the film, but also is just so super clean. I could look at it all day. All right, so that brings us to number 1. Number 1 on my list of Kung Fu Bob's greatest covers for 88 films. And this is a movie that I also really love that I think is really hugely underappreciated. It has, this release also has one of my favorite Blu-ray bonus features ever. Are you ready for it? Heart of Dragon. There's just something about, okay, so I'm going to break this down. giant yellow Jackie with a machine gun just sucks you in it's like a black hole, and your eyes are the light, and it's just sucking you in, right? But then you start to look at all the other things. You're like, oh, well, there's the car chase, and like, oh, here's the bad guy, and they capture his brother, and oh, here's the brothers, and like, it has so many different things going on, and it sucks you in with that image. But then there's all this stuff swirling around it. It's almost like some kind of spiraling thing, where it's like mesmerizes and hypnotizes you, and just the composition of it. And it's kind of an atypical composition, like the one for The Protector, right? Because it's not like you do have this classic kind of pyramid, right, of Jackie Chan here, which, like, if you go and look at the old Star Wars posters and stuff like that, you'll see classic movie posters with great artwork. You will see pyramids fucking everywhere, right? Because they draw your eyes in, and they point you to the most important objects, and it creates lines that you can easily kind of, even if you watch Raiders of the Lost Ark, you see like a lot of very clear like pyramids, triangles, and lines where Spielberg is using objects in the frame to point your eyes at what he wants you to look at, right? And so you do have this kind of classic pyramid here, but it's kind of like a cluttered and asymmetrical composition, and yet it really, really works the way that everything is placed within the frame. I don't know, part of this is intuitive. Like, I just look at it and I respond to it because the colors are bold and it nails kind of the tone of the film. And like, one of the things that I think this movie does really successfully is it compartmentalizes aspects of the film so that the relationship of the brothers has its own space, and the kind of camaraderie of the cops has its own space, and the bad guy kidnapping Jackie going ham, killing everyone, kind of, that has its own space too. And it's sections of the film, the way you have like these sections of the artwork here. So again, I just think it perfectly captures the mood of the film, the tone of the film, what happens in the film, the events of the film, and also it really succeeds as its own unique piece. And I don't remember if this one is reversible, but I think it is. I think it has what was like the Hong Kong like DVD cover, maybe, if you want to check out what's there. Yeah. So I mean, come on. Can that even hold a candle to this? Methinks not. So my name is Will, and this has been just kind of like a random, spontaneous Kung Fu Bob and 88 Films appreciation post. Because like I said, I was looking at my Blu-rays, and, the Armor of God announcement just happened. I don't know when this video is going to go up, but to give you an idea of when I'm recording it, the Armor of God like details for like that release were just revealed, and they revealed Bob's artwork, and it's just so good. And I was just thinking about Kung Fu Bob and all the awesome stuff that he's done over the past couple years, and I thought I would throw down a video, top 5, just to give you something fun to check out. So let me know in the comments for sure what your favorite Kung Fu Bob covers are, slipcases, artwork, whatever you want to call it, because he's done stuff for the Vengeance Pack and various other companies, and why you love it so much. And maybe which other artists, like, do you really like Darren Wheeling and the stuff that Darren Wheeling does for Eureka, or do you like the artists that Criterion works with, or Spectrum Films I think has some really great artists that they work with too. So there's a lot of people out there doing really amazing work. But to me, Kung Fu Bob he's up here if we want to talk about triangles and pyramids again. And then everyone else is kind of down here. And that's no disrespect to them at all, because like I said, there's great stuff happening all over the world with all these labels. But there's something special to me about Bob. And I think part of it is that he's just such a huge fan of these films that, it shows in the artwork that the love comes through. So my name is Will. This is Hong Kong Cinema Appreciation Society. I thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.